Okay, like I said earlier, this is from Performance Skate. This is the Performance Tip, or P-Tip Skateboard. It is a skateboard that has got plastic tips infused into a routed off tip here. So there are a few less layers of wood right here so that they could slot in something like this. And this is replaceable. In fact, you can buy these tips separately. They come with their own hardware, and they come with a little piece of grip tape. So the idea is when you're gripping this skateboard, you're probably going to do your grip from here to about here. Now, one of the claims is these will give you more pop. I don't know about that. I'm a skeptic about that, but the company actually sent a bunch of these over to our shop and a box of them to me, and we gave them out to the kids, and the kids didn't really have any complaints over them, but I hung on to one because I was like, you know, I really need to check this out. So we're going to see what's going on with this, if it's a gimmick or if this is the real deal. And this is one thing that reminds me of back in the 80s, and I guess part of the 90s. You might have seen skateboards that had plastic parts that were mounted, actually drilled in to the tails, and sometimes the nose of the board, we'd call them tailbones or whale bones or whatever, when we used them to keep the longevity of the tail. This is almost like a new wave version of that, a contemporary version of the same idea in having a piece of a replaceable element on your skateboard, so that once you get some wear and tear on it, you can just take it off and then put another piece back on. Now, gonna see how this skates in a future review that's gonna be coming up concurrently, along with some other things, and the last one. And like I said earlier, we're going to take a look at these Theeve trucks, and this is the hardware that they sent. The hardware is not titanium, this is regular hardware. It has Allen wrench heads, and it comes with a little bitty baby Allen wrench that you could use. And I don't know if you remember, a while back I had brought up the pig skate tool that I was so stoked on, that was the threader and everything. Well, I just noticed today that it actually has a tip that will fit the Allen head for a truck bolt like that. So we're going to take a quick spin with the truck itself. You're going to notice right off the bat, with a truck like Indy or Thunder or Destructo or a lot of your traditional trucks, the arc that goes here from your pivot cup to the barrel of your hanger is usually really pronounced, or I'm sorry, it's really stretched. It usually comes all the way to kind of about here, a very subtle oval shape. Now these cut really, really hard, and they remind me a lot of Ace trucks in that respect, that they have that when you look at them dead on, they just have a very sharp dive going right into the pivot cup. Now we're going to break these down, and we're going to pop the kingpin nut off. We have a top washer. We see one of the things that people were pretty hyped on about this was that the Bones bushings came stock in these trucks. And now we've got the hanger, and try to give you a full view of what we've got here. Now with the TIAX, the axle is a 6'4" composite of titanium. The truck itself is not made out of the titanium. They do have a truck evidently that is made like that, but in this case the axle itself is a titanium alloy. And as far as being lighter, I'm sure it is lighter to a degree. It's not noticeably lighter to me than if I'm holding a pair of Indies, because we're talking about one piece of metal that's going through the entire truck and doesn't take up as much space as the rest of the truck does. That's the bottom bushing that comes with these, and then we are left with the base plate and hanger, and I'll try to show you that at different angles here. If you've got a set of Destructos or a set of Indies around, and I'm just giving you a point of reference on some of the dimensions here, the platform piece of this base plate that the bottom bushing is sitting on is not as wide as Indie or Destructo, but it's a little bit wider than, let's say, a set of Thunder. That doesn't really mean anything, but just wanted to bring it up. And again, I'm really struck by the real barrel. There's a lot of axle here, and I was looking again. These actually cut tighter than Ace, whereas Ace kind of cuts really sharp and then levels out with the rest of the hanger or the rest of the axle. These actually dive down and then scoop up and then straighten back out into the axle. So gonna put a bunch of this stuff together and just see if it's any good or something, I think. Thanks.